This weekend's adventure, Bishop Hill, Illinois. It is a Swedish colony that has most of its buildings built in about the 1850s. And it's like freezing cold out here. But I've been set loose to wander around town and check out all these neat buildings. The good portions of the town are just one giant little open air museum. And most of the buildings, when you step right outside, have a little sign like this to tell you what it was, when it was built, and frequently, what it is now. So like this one's closed to the public. But I wanted to point out that this building, this is what they did a lot. They were brick buildings and then they put stucco over them. And then the story is the stucco was eroding the brick underneath. So there has been extensive repairs on a lot of buildings. This is the corner store, and it really was the colony store and sort of the dry goods store since it was built in 1853. It was part of the post office for a while. Notice, not only do we get an American flag, but we get Swedish flags. Step into the door, you really feel like you've just stepped into the past, because this is the first thing you see when you walk in the door. And I am sorry that you cannot video smells, because it smells like coffee and chocolate and warmth, and probably a little of the, check out the wood on the front of this counter. It is so beautiful. The steeple building on the corner is where the museum is for the town. Can you tell why they call it a steeple building? But it too is actually a brick building with stucco over it, but they then drew the lines to make it look like it was made with different building materials. The museum inside, first thing you're greeted by is this amazing tapestry that is kind of a summary of the history of the town. And after you walk in and greet the nice lady, you have to walk past this amazing desk that was built in 1857. I mean, oh my God, look at the wooden inlays on this. I very much appreciate having been to Souder Village and having such a lovely lesson in broom making. And here they've got the whole apparatus for chopping off the end of the brooms so that you have a nice, even, squared off broom that will stand on its own. This is a bellows from the blacksmith shop here in the colony. That was a good sized bellows. Must have been a good sized blacksmith shop. Every colonist coming on the boat over from Sweden to the United States had a trunk like this. One trunk in which to take whatever they saw fit to bring. This building was apartments originally, and makes a lot of sense here where we have all of these, each one of these doors is to a small room, mostly about the same size. So each one of these rooms was an apartment for a different family. When I said you arrived with a trunk, they were not kidding. They have quite the collection of trunks. I think I'll take the big red one. And here's an example of what a setup looked like. You got a bed, you got a table, desk, couple chairs. Not a lot of space, but you weren't living in a log cabin either. When all of the colonists first got around here, they lived in dugouts, and everybody had a pot-bellied stove, which, considering the state of pot-bellied stoves, they're not inconsiderable items. Of course, these are a little more modern than what they had in the 1850s. Nonetheless, it's a nice call back to where they started. I very much appreciate that they put their fire extinguisher next to the shuttle full of coal. So the colony carpenter shop is now the building where the post office is. They've got the cutest little mailbox. Now that's a row of mail slots. This is the Colony Church that, according to the sign, was built in 1848. And this is a wonderful story of local government going wrong. I mean, you can see the state it's in. Look at the paint job it needs. But they can't do anything about it. The town cannot have a bake sale or have a fundraising day or have a volunteer day to paint the building. The state has to give them money because the state owns it. The state doesn't have a fund to pay for painting the building. All the money, if you were to donate money to paint the building, it goes into a general fund for the state. And the state may or may not give you money to paint the building. Ouch. It's a little, and it needs more than paint, but the paint is the obvious one. It could be done by volunteer labor, except you're not allowed. Oh, that hurts.